Starting us off at number 10, we got Logan Paul. No real surprise here, right? Technically, he is allowed to enter the country itself, but it's believed if he does, the cops will be quick to arrest him. In case you guys don't know what country I'm talking about, well, of course, it's Japan. Although he got a ton of media exposure for his infamous Suicide Forest video, it was his other vlogs that got him in trouble with the Japanese law. In his other Japan vlog style videos, Logan can be seen breaking a handful of laws, such as traffic violations, public indecency, destruction of property, and interference with business operations. Now these antics are enough to have him wanted by Japanese officials, in the sense that if he were to lay foot in the country, well, they would of course love to teach him a lesson. Now obviously his Suicide Forest video also left a very bad image of the guy in the eyes of the country, so I think it's safe to say Logan won't be going to Japan anytime soon.
No, you're gonna light on fire, bro.
That's okay. My spirit's being
You're gonna light on fire.
My spirit's cleansed. It's the holy one. This is for if you're a real piece of shit in life.
At number 9, Drew is sharing is banned from the US. For those of you that don't know, popular cannabis UK YouTuber Drew is sharing was actually banned from the US back in 2016. The reason for the ban? An admin error. It wasn't this guy's fault at all, it was actually the government's fault. Now while traveling to the US to meet some friends for a collab, Drew encountered some trouble with the machines at the airport. For whatever reason, it wouldn't properly scan his picture, so he had to go to an actual customs agent to help him out, like a real human, a person. You guys know what that is, right? For whatever reason, this agent looked into his past visits and noticed he stayed a day longer than he legally was allowed to during his second most recent trip. So we're not talking about the trip he was on before this one, but the one before that. Turns out he didn't actually stay the extra day because, well, he legally couldn't and the country wouldn't allow it. Drew accidentally booked his trip for 91 days when he could only stay 90 days. So he changed it to 90 days, left the US, returned home after his 90 days was up, visited again without any problems at all, but the next time he visited he got detained, questioned for 2 hours, and refused entry. It's unclear how long this ban is for, but it's kind of crazy to see the government make a mistake and still blame a citizen for it.
And it was 2 trips ago. The last trip I did, nothing happened. I went straight through. So I'm detained, I'm questioned for like 2 hours, and after I'm detained for 2 hours they say, look, we can't let you into the country.
At number 8, we got Brittany Pettibone. After planning on meeting her fiance, who's also on this list, for a speech in the UK, Pettibone would find herself being detained by the British police at the airport. Turns out when she tried to check in with a customs agent, she was already on some list of people to look out for. Now it's safe to say Brittany has what some would say are far-right beliefs. However, having beliefs isn't necessarily illegal. But according to the government, she was detained for 3 separate reasons. First of all, she was planning on interviewing a far-right extremist, Tommy Robinson, who's known as a far-right political activist in the UK with anti-Islamic beliefs. Secondly, her fiance, who we will get to a little bit later on in this video, is a member of a right-wing movement, Generation Identity, which she argued didn't really make sense for a reason to detain her. And they kind of agreed, but she still got detained. And thirdly, she was planning on inciting violence at the speech her boyfriend was expected to give. Now of course, 2 sides to every story. She probably wasn't planning on inciting violence at the speech, but you never really know. Personally, I strongly disagree with her beliefs, and I trust the government did what they needed to do, or so they felt needed to be done.
Legally in the UK, you can't detain someone for more than 24 hours unless you can charge them with a crime. Or, she hasn't been charged with a crime, they've been suspicious. There's suspicions of terrorism.
Coming in at number 7, we got Snoop Dogg. Snoop Digo Double G. Is that his name? I don't know. Now before you guys hit me with the fact that he's not a YouTuber, I mean technically he is. Aside from the music he of course uploads to the platform, Snoop has also uploaded a handful of clips, interviews, and his podcast to his YouTube channel, which boasts over 5.3 million subscribers. So now that we got that out of the way, where is he banned and why? Well, let's start with the obvious. Possession of the marijuana. Back in July of 2012, Snoop was caught with about 8 grams of weed while flying into Norway. He admitted to the offense and got a 2-year ban from the country. But that's not where it ends. Snoop also got banned from the UK in 2006 after causing a scene, or what some would say a brawl broke out at the airport after his request for him and his entourage to be upgraded to first class got denied. After 4 years and battling with the government, they would lift the ban. He was also banned from Australia, which has since been lifted, and was banned in the Netherlands, although it's still unclear whether or not that ban still stands.
Yeah, because you know, they had me banned from here for a minute where I wasn't able to come through the UK, and that was upsetting to me.
And at number 6, Pewdiepie. Although he as a whole isn't banned from India, you best believe some of his content is. More specifically, his diss tracks toward T-Series, which seem to contain offensive and racist lyrics, are completely banned in India. for obvious reasons. Indian officials even went as far as trying to get the songs completely removed off of YouTube worldwide, but it seems that isn't going to happen anytime soon. Of course, PewDiePie has been known to cross the line before, so I'm sure to him this was just seen as a minor setback. And although he didn't beat out T-Series to the 100 million subscriber mark, I don't know, I kind of think everyone in the YouTube community will still consider him the first person to hit 100 million subscribers when it happens, because, you know, he's not a corporation. But like, whatever.
PewDiePie did an oopsie. Can you believe this? PewDiePie did an oopsie? What? There's definitely not been any shortage of calling PewDiePie a racist this past couple weeks.
Coming in hot at number 5, Nikocado Avocado. After moving to Colombia and starting a family with his husband, Nick got deported for overstaying his visa. And technically he did break the law, which led to him being deported from the country and receiving a ban. The craziest part of all this is that he got married and found out his marriage visa had been denied because he overstayed his time on his travel visa. It was a pretty unfortunate situation, but technically he was in the wrong. I mean, you kinda gotta do your due diligence to make sure you got all your bases covered.
Essentially, I am being forced to leave. The 25th is when my visa expires.
At number 4, we got Martin Sellner, the fiance of Brittany Pettibone, who came in at number 8. Sellner also got a ban from the UK for his extreme right-wing views and anti-Islamic beliefs. He's the Austrian leader of Generation Identity, and although he was originally denied entry back in 2018 for the same reasons his girlfriend was detained, he most recently received a ban back in June of 2019. Authorities started investigating Sellner in regards to being linked to the Christchurch shooting. It's believed the shooter actually donated about $1,500 to Sellner's organization, which has led to him being banned from the UK indefinitely. As of now, it seems he had absolutely no connection with the incident, but government officials are still looking into the whole situation.
The plan was to go to Speaker's Corner to give a speech there. Speaker's Corner, maybe you can go into it because you looked it up.
Well, it's a very famous place for freedom of speech.
Coming at number 3, we got Lauren Southern. Like Sellner and Pettibone, Southern was also denied entry in the UK when she tried meeting them back in 2018. However, she's also been banned from Australia, who denied her a visa when she applied for one back in July of 2018. Southern is known for having far-right beliefs, with some comparing her to white supremacists. Eventually, Australia did allow her into the country after she received the correct visa, but she faced problems that same month when she had to cancel her New Zealand tour. After having issues finding a venue to speak at, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said New Zealand is hostile to the views of the speakers, and I quote, "I think you'll see from the reaction they've had from New Zealanders that their views are not those that are shared by this country, and I'm quite proud of that." End quote. Although she never received a full-on ban, she was advised against coming from the country, so see, that's close enough to a ban.
When I checked last, it was around 70% of people here agreed we should have the right to speak. So there is this radical minority that want to decide what the majority of people should think is hate speech.
In at number 2, Roosh V. Now this guy is known for having some crazy thoughts and beliefs. Much like others on this list, he's got extreme right-wing views, and it seems like the UK is quite liberal. But I wouldn't even go that far. I just say the UK doesn't want people spreading hate and racism in their country. Which, like, I back, because who needs that? Roosh V is the king of it all, accused of being anti-Semitic and misogynist, and even promoting for to be legal on private properties, although he claimed the latter was meant to be satirical. So if that gives you any indication of the kind of guy he is, there you have it. Roosh's views and beliefs have not only gotten him a ban from the UK, but the likes of John Tory, Toronto's current mayor, has also said he's not welcomed in the Six.
I just found out today that I am banned from England for 3 to 5 years. Can you believe that?
Now at number 1, this may come as a surprise to you guys, but we got Justin Bieber. Although he's one of the biggest stars in the world, we can't forget about his humble beginnings on the platform we've all grown up watching. Before he'd have billions of views on his video for the songs Sorry, Baby, What Do You Mean, and Love Yourself to name a few, Biebs would upload videos of him covering other artists singing songs and performing at his house or his school. So where is he banned from? Well, for starters, he's banned from China because of his history of bad behavior, although it seems he's cleaned up his act. He was also banned from Argentina after one of his bodyguards beat up a photographer back in 2013. But I mean, he's a married man now, so I think he's kind of toned down his wild ways. I mean, I guess we'll have to talk to the Argentinian and Chinese government about that, but we'll see how they feel, I guess, you know. Like sign a little petition and let Biebs back in.
Coming in at number 10, Justin Bieber. Believe it or not, but the Biebs has been banned from a number of places. For starters, let's begin with why he's banned from Argentina. Back in 2013, when he was on the South American part of his Believe tour, Bieber was smacked with a misdemeanor the moment that he walked off stage. Apparently, he had tagged an abandoned hotel in Brazil, then following that, he reportedly defiled the Argentine flag on stage and unleashed a bodyguard on a photographer that was just outside of a nightclub that he went to later on. There was also eventually a warrant out for his arrest that was dismissed, but when Justin tried to return in 2016, the government ultimately turned him away. In addition to this, he is also banned from performing in mainland China because the government views him as a controversial young foreign idol with a record of bad behavior on and off stage. Coming in at number 9, Miley Cyrus. Justin Bieber isn't the only celebrity that has been banned from more than one country. Miley Cyrus has also been banned from China as well as the Dominican Republic, after she took a very unfortunate photo in which she appears to be mocking the appearance of Asian people. Miley landed herself on China's banned from entry list. In a statement to the press, the Chinese Foreign Minister Yang Jiechi said, "Ms. Cyrus has made it clear that she is no friend of China or anyone of East Asian descent. We have no interest in further polluting our children's minds with her American ignorance." Couldn't have said it better myself. This was back in 2009, and again in 2014, Cyrus found herself being banned from the Dominican Republic as well. According to government officials, the ban was because she undertakes acts that go against morals and customs which are punishable by Dominican law. Yikes. Coming in at number 8, Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt really became a household name back in the early 90s, and it was mainly to do with his role in the film Thelma and Louise. After putting himself on the map, he began booking a ton of memorable roles like True Romance, Seven, and 12 Monkeys. However, within that time, he also made a film called 7 Years in Tibet, and in that movie he plays an Austrian mountain climber that becomes friends with the Dalai Lama right as China begins their takeover of Tibet. As you can imagine, China did not take kindly to this movie because any project that portrays the Dalai Lama in a positive light is considered hostile to them. After all, he is considered to be the spiritual leader of Tibet and has fought for Tibet's independence despite China believing that it is part of its sovereign territory. Coming in at number 7, Lady Gaga. Back in 2012, Lady Gaga unfortunately had to cancel a sold-out show in Indonesia because she was immediately met with protests by Islamic leaders and lawmakers. Their fear was that she would corrupt the young people in the country because she dances in revealing clothing. Despite the show in Jakarta being one of the largest on her tour, she was denied a permit less than 3 weeks before taken to the stage. In addition to that ban, Gaga was also banned from China because she met with the Dalai Lama. Man, China really has it out for that guy. According to Chinese officials, the Dalai Lama fled China in 1959, and so they refer to him as a separatist and a wolf in monk's clothing, and so anyone even seen associating with him is immediately banned from China. And if you're wondering, the two discuss mental health, yoga, meditation, and the global significance of building compassionate cities. Ooh, scary. According to NBC News, the ban was issued by the Communist Party of China's propaganda department shortly after this meeting. Coming in at number 6, Russell Brand. Back in 2013, Russell Brand was scheduled to perform his Messiah Complex tour in Johannesburg. Although things certainly did not go as planned because as he was getting on the plane to South Africa, the customs notified Brand that he had been banned from entering the country. According to the Daily Mail, his publicist Deborah D'Souza said that Russell was banned because he did not have 2 free pages in his passport, which is the minimum amount of free space needed to gain access to the country. Despite being banned, Russell laughed it off and tweeted, "Banned from South Africa, here ready to go, refused entry, hope I can come soon." Well, at least he has a sense of humor about it. Coming in at number 5, Martha Stewart. Okay, the reason for Martha Stewart being banned from another country is just gangster. Okay, 79-year-old Martha Stewart is banned from entering the UK because she has a criminal record. If you don't know, in 2004, Martha was sentenced to 5 months in prison after being found guilty of lying to investigators who were trying to suss out if she and her stockbroker buddy were doing insider trading. I'm not going to get into what insider trading is, but all you need to know is that it's illegal. Shortly after news of her border denial went public, the UK Border and Immigration Agency released a statement that said the government will continue to oppose entry to the UK for those who have been found guilty of serious criminal offenses abroad. I suppose they wanted to make an example out of someone. I mean, lying to a government agency is considered a federal crime in the United States, and because of that, you're more likely to automatically be banned from entering some countries. Sorry, Martha, I guess you'll have to have tea and crumpets at home. In at number 4, Snoop Dogg. Yes, Snoop Dogg. You may remember him from that cooking show that he had with Martha Stewart. Obviously, I'm kidding. You may know him as one of the best-selling rappers of all time, and as a man who has an affinity for the devil's lettuce, which is also what landed him in some trouble while he was traveling abroad. Back in 2012, Snoop got held up at the airport in Norway while he was on his way to perform at a music festival because customs officials found 8 grams of marijuana in his bag. Oh no! In addition to that, he was also carrying more cash than is legally allowed in Norway, and so he was fined just over $6,000. Imagine getting fined because you have too much money. The funny thing is that after admitting to these 2 offenses, he was allowed to go to perform at Norway's Ho Festival. However, this was under the condition that he would never return to the country once leaving. I guess they really don't like weed there. And at number 3, Lindsay Lohan. Actress Lindsay Lohan always seems to have the best of intentions, only for it to all flip back on her. This time it was India who played the Uno reverse card on Lohan after she claimed to have saved multiple children from sweatshops. She was filming a documentary with the BBC, but it turned out that Lindsay had not applied for a work visa, which is required for filming. Additionally, social activists were outraged that Lindsay would claim that she had a role in freeing child workers. The actress worked on the documentary in India while on a tourist visa, and under Indian law, a work visa is required for any non-tourist activity. And so they gave her the boot. In at number 2, Kesha. Kesha first rose to fame after she released a series of party anthems with her partying ways and outrageous personal style making headlines. Plus, she influenced an entire generation to try brushing their teeth with Jack Daniels, so there's also that. Due to this reputation though, Kesha found herself being banned from traveling to Malaysia after authorities argued that her concert might offend religious sensibilities. Kesha's team apparently tried to work with them to modify the show so that it would better suit the Malaysian culture and sensitivities, including having made adjustments to her song lyrics, wardrobe changes, and a set list that had been modified to specifically adhere to the guidelines set forth by these authorities. But even after all of that, they still said no, resulting in Kesha having to cancel her show and lose more than $350,000 in revenue. Shortly after canceling the show, Kesha tweeted, "To be clear, I did not cancel. I was not allowed to play, and then I was going to play anyways and was threatened with imprisonment." Yeah, you definitely don't want that. Last but certainly not least, on our number 1 spot, Paris Hilton. The hotel heiress and OG influencer Paris Hilton had to cut her Asia tour to promote her fashion and fragrance line short after she was denied entry in Japan. Back in 2010, her private jet was turned back to Los Angeles when she was denied entry at Tokyo's airport due to a drug violation in the US, according to the Associated Press. Once arriving in Japan, she spent 6 hours undergoing questioning by officials. The day before leaving California, Paris had pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor drug charge in Las Vegas because she had been arrested the previous month for cocaine possession. In a statement to the press, her publicist said, "Paris is very disappointed and fought hard to keep her business commitments and see her fans, but she is forced to postpone her commitments in Asia. Paris understands and respects the rules and laws of the immigration authorities in Japan and fully wishes to cooperate with them."